it is doing a good job of mopping. I wanted to turn the lights off and show you that blue light. It's got an... Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Today I'm going to do the first look and show you how to set up for the first time this brand new Dreame X60 Ultra robot vacuum cleaner. So they sell an Ultra, a Max Ultra. This is not that. That's a more expensive robot. This one, they've removed a few features to lower the price. So this is the X60 Ultra. Now I did purchase this robot vacuum cleaner with my own money. It wasn't paid for this video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set it up. We're going to connect it to our smartphone. I'll give you my recommended settings and we'll do a really simple cleaning on it just to see how it's going to do. But if you want I will be taking this to my house and living with it for 3 months to see if it'll get the Just a Dad sticker seal of approval. If you want to see all the robots that I've already approved of that I highly recommend, these are robots that I would recommend my friends and family, like the Mova P10 Pro there for $400. Check out my website, justadadapproved.com. If you purchase a product off my website or in the description in this video, I am an Amazon affiliate. If you click on the link, the product doesn't cost you anymore, but I do earn a small commission from the sale. Again, I do purchase these all with my own money. This is home of the honest review. I want to get you the best robot for the best price. And they will not earn that sticker right there. That's the Just a Dad approved sticker until after I've lived with them for 3 months and they've gone my at-home testing. That way you can tell right away what are good robots and bad robots. If they have this sticker, this just means they're in my studio and they're being tested. If they don't pass it, they just get to skip it from me. So here's everything that comes in the box. I do like that this robot can vacuum and mop your house at the same time. And it also has robotic feet that it can leap over taller thresholds. Comes with a solution bottle, a power cord, and 1 extra dust bag. I did install the mop pads. They simply just click on. Here, we're going to talk about the base station and then we'll talk about the robot. Up top, we got a clean water tank and a dirty water tank. Now around back, you're going to plug the power cord in right here. It's 6 feet long, 3-prong. Make sure this switch is down. That's the on switch. Plug it into 120 volts, 60 hertz. And whenever it's heating the water, 640 watts total power. Front to back, 17 inches or 43 centimeters. Left to right, looks like we're at 15.5 or 39 centimeters. You do have to be able to lift this lid all the way up to get these out. So let's measure that. All right, to the top of the lid, 29 inches or 74 centimeters. And just real quick, the robot itself is 13.75 inches or 35 centimeters wide. Okay, so the base station does have a dust bag. You're just going to grab this, pull this. So the vacuum cleaner is going to come back. Another vacuum cleaner is going to kick on and suck everything out of the robot into this right here. And you simply just pull this out and replace that about every 2 months. It does come with a solution tank. You're going to put the Dreame solution right in here. It's going to mix it with the water. Let's put these top tabs in first. Rotate that down. Okay, so that's where it's going to fill the robot up with water. Here's where it charges it. It does have little heating elements. That's going to help heat the water when the mop pads are spinning on it. That's where the water is shot out. The base station heats the water and shoots it up when the mop pads are spinning around. Then all the water is going to go down here and get sucked up into the dirty water tank. Here's where it's going to auto empty the dustbin. Everything's going to get sucked out here. This is a sensor to help it back up into the base station. Now this filter, you will have to clean this once in a while. It's very simple. There's those heating pads. There's where the water comes out. And then at the end of the job, it's going to blow hot air right out here to dry the mop pads. All right, let's switch gears now to the robot. It is 8 centimeters tall or 8 millimeters tall. Inches, it's 3 1/8 inches tall. Okay, so this robot does have LiDAR navigation. This LiDAR goes up and down. There's 2 physical buttons up here. There's a ring light here. Now it does have really good optical avoidance sensors. This is also a camera, an LED light, and there's also a light right here, a blue light called a dirt detect light. It's going to shine in front of it to help it identify liquid or particles. Because this sensor on the front here, if there's liquid in front of it, it turns the vacuum off and mops only. If there's particles like a bunch of dirt and debris, it turns the mop off and does a vacuum only of it. And if there's a stain, it's going to mop that stain until it's clean. Side brush extends into the corner. Here's another sensor. It does have the bumper on it too. Around back, here's the sensor, can help it back up. Charges the robot. Alignment pins. This is where it's going to fill. The robot does have an internal water tank. And then here's where the auto empty dustbin. Here is the dustbin. We do have a Wi-Fi reset and light right here. So you will have to, there is a filter here on here you'll have to clean once in a while. It's got like a big handle. Pull that off. This part doesn't come out of here. This is one assembly, but this is reusable. You'll have to clean this every couple weeks. Here's what the dustbin looks like. It's going to fill up and then everything auto empties out this back. Okay, here we have the 2 spinning mop pads. We have a carpet sensor. Since there's a carpet sensor, it can raise and lower the mop pads, but it can also leave the mop pads back at the base station. Here's the dual brush roller for long hair vacuuming. The side brush, it can extend into the corner. These are the sensors, they call them cliff sensors, so it doesn't fall down your stairs. Those need to be cleaned every so often. And then there's the robotic arms that it will deploy, one on each wheel, to lift over taller thresholds. And normally this wheel is on the front here, but on this X60, it's around back. So here's the mop pads. You can move one mop pad right up against the wall. This is where it sprays water on top of the mop pads to keep them wet. There is an internal water tank. These mop pads you will have to replace once in a while, or you can put them in your laundry to kind of freshen them up. And again, it can detach and leave the mop pads back at the base station. Both of them. There's those robotic feet that's going to deploy to lift over tall thresholds right there. Let's take a look at the dual brush roller design. This helps with long hair. So see how there's not a pivot point? There's just one pivot point over here. So these are fluted also. So the long hairs are going to come in here and be directed to the end. And since there's not a pivot point here, they get sucked into the dustbin. This actually works very well for pets with long hair or cat hair. Now, there is no suction chamber that comes down. That's for the Max Ultra. Okay, let's go over the spec sheet. Now, again, you can find all of this on my website. These are going to be available. So, $1,500, it's on sale for $1,348. This is a flagship robot, but they did remove some features from the Max Ultra, which I'm going to talk about. So, it has 35,000 pascals of suction, side reach for the mop pads, removable and lift, 10 millimeters. It says it has 15 newtons of downward pressure. Corner reach for side brush, one brush. I don't know if it lifts it or not. I think it does. Dual brush roller, water tank on board. It does have a video camera, a dirt detection blue light. I'll do testing to see how well the obstacle avoidance. I imagine it's going to be pretty good. No chassis lift. That's one thing they took away to save money. But they kept the same threshold as the Max Ultra, 3.47. The same thickness, but that's only when the LiDAR is lowered. It's got several, this AI sensor can see liquid, it can see stains, it can see particles, and it's got good obstacle avoidance. Water temperature, 212 degrees, that's from that heating element right there. That actually heats up to help the water get hotter. I do think that helps clean it. It doesn't say how hot the air gets. No turbidity sensor. I just learned a new word. There's no dirt detection sensor in the base station. They're relying on the AI sensor on inside the front of the robot. So that's something they took away. The Max Ultra actually has a dirt detect. The solution tank is a single, where the Max 60's got multiple tray, no tray removal. It's got fast charging, and it talks about that heating element. Here's a quick comparison table. The AI sensors look to be the same. I thought they were going to be different. I thought like the Max, there's the Max Ultra and the X60 Ultra. This one is the cheaper one. It should be cheaper because they've removed stuff. So they removed chassis lift. They retractable pressure chamber. Solution tank's a single. And the turbidity, dirt detection sensor, they removed it. Everything else is the same. So if there's something else I'm missing, let me know. So in my opinion, removing those items, you should pay about $300 to $400 less for this. Okay, I've got the clean water tank filled with clean water. Here is the Dreame solution. Let's pour it in. I'll do some testing. Typically, I do put I put some Shark vac mop solution in my clean water tank, but I'll see how this goes. Look for the update. This is a brush you're going to want to get. You can get all this stuff on my website, justadadapproved.com. This is from Walmart. You are going to have to clean this. It does get pretty stinky, and every time you empty the dirty water tank, put an Effordent tablet in there. It prevents all the odor. The dock is plugged in. That white is white. I got the solution tank installed. Both tanks are installed. It's up against a wall. You should have about half a foot clear on either side of it. Okay, let's power the robot on. Press the power button for about 5 seconds. Those lights are glowing now. The robot's going to lift up and down probably. And we're going to scan that QR code with the Dreame app. I'm using an iPhone. You can use a tablet. The Dreame app is free to use. You just have to log in with a username and password. You have to create an account. All right, that's what we want to hear. That means it's powering on, and it may move on us, so sometimes they jump up and down.
Welcome to use Dreame Robot. Please open Robot's cover and scan QR code to download Dreame Home app to view more. It is in place.
Okay, so once you're logged in, hit scan. Give it access to your camera. You're going to scan that code. Okay, now it's telling you, yep, I turned the robot on. Hit next. Press the 2 buttons. Press these 2 buttons right here to release the Wi-Fi network. So press them at the same time until you hear something.
Waiting for the network configuration.
Okay, click this box and hit next. Okay, give it your Wi-Fi. Select your Wi-Fi. Give it your Wi-Fi password. Then click device hot. This robot's going to transmit a Wi-Fi signal. The tablet has to join it. The tablet's going to go tell the robot what Wi-Fi to go connect to. Because you gave it the password. It only works on 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. This should all be seamless. But sometimes you do have to manually connect to the robot's Wi-Fi.
Robot and phone connected. Please return.
Should get 3 check marks here, and then we're going to hit next. Again, setup is usually pretty simple.
Network connected successfully. Place robot back in the
all right,
dock
give it a name. You can type whatever name in here, like Rosie or Fred. Hit finished. Now let's go dock the robot. It's time to get it on charge. And you want to make sure and hear the word charging. Now the wheels are kind of stiff. Push it back. Those are flashing or just breathing. It's charging. That means we have it docked properly. Okay, let's go through hit agree. You can turn these on or off later, but it's going to walk you through a couple. Stain recognition's on, large particle boost is on, active light enhanced detection, that's the blue light on the front. Pets, if you have pets, turn that on. Auto LDS, that's the LiDAR sensor going up and down if you want it to go under your furniture more. Multi-floor, if you have multiple floors, hit next. Side reach is on. The side brush will reach into the corner and the mop will extend. I love those. Make sure you turn Do Not Disturb on. These things will start in the middle of the night. I've got mine off, but I don't use the smart voice. You can use other smart voice. It has its onboard smart voice, but it does work really well. Okay, there is a firmware update. I do recommend doing this. These are usually pretty quick, so just sit here and wait. Okay, that maybe took 5 minutes. It's going to walk you through some more settings here. Again, we turned these already on.
Okay, Dreame Me.
Okay, we got 33% charge. We're going to do a fast mapping, then we'll go through the recommended settings. So make sure your doors are open. Oh, it's still upgrading, sorry. That we'll be able to do here in a second. Okay, so now it says charging. Let's hit start fast mapping. The robot's going to undock. Make sure your doors are open. Furniture's picked up. All right, let's go to it again. Go.
will take about 5 to 10 minutes.
It's going to remove the mop pads, leave them at the base station, and it's just going to randomly go through your house.
Please ensure the entire home is well lit, and do not block the room's entrance or move the robot or dock.
You can add no-go zones while it's mapping, or even thresholds and ramps. And this is the coolest part. Sit back and watch it create a map of your home in real time. It's pretty cool. This is why I love LiDAR navigation. That's the spinning thing that raised on the top. That's the coolest feature. Now again, let's say you had a threshold right there. You would hit the threshold button and you would add a threshold, and then it would go into that room, because it may not go into that room if there's a threshold, but you can always add it later. And say there's an area where you don't want it to map, or even you can put a no-go zone when you start to see it. You could like hit no-go zone, it pauses everything, add the no-go zone, and then it'll complete the mapping. So, okay, it's all done mapping my home. It's going back to the base station to dock. Then let's go over and edit the map. And it'll lower that LiDAR.
Mapping completed. Please confirm map data.
And there's the map. So let's go edit the map. Okay, so you're going to get a pop-up like this. Let's adjust now. Click OK. So we want to divide up the rooms. So you can pinch and zoom this map. This one here, I want to divide. If that line is dotted, it won't do the divide. So it has to be solid. And then I'm going to merge these two small rooms here. Merge this one and this one into one room. Take your time with this. You can always adjust it later, but it's better to take your time with it right now. If there was an area where it couldn't get to, it'll identify that area later and add it. And then naming them is important because it just helps you. I would name them accordingly to what the names they supply. Like, or you can do a custom name, but it does clean it differently. Like if it's a kitchen compared to a bathroom, it cleans it differently. And these names are important if you use the smart speakers. That way you could tell it to clean the bedroom and it'll know which one the bedroom is. Okay, so get them named. No-go zones, you can add these later. Threshold, you can add later, but let's add a no-go zone. I know there's an area back here. Let's do a no-go. There's a bunch of computer cables on the ground. I know it's going to struggle. And then you could do a no mop zone. Those are purple if you don't want it to mop. You can fine tune where your rugs are. It'll vacuum that area, but it won't mop. And you can really fine tune that. All your carpet's not going to show up yet until you do a couple cleanings. And you can do virtual walls. So you can add these later wherever the robot keeps getting stuck. You can add furniture, curtains. Like if there's a curtain that's really low to the ground, add a curtain. And it's this little squiggly line. This is pretty cool. You can do the order. So what order do you want it to clean? I want it to do the hallway. You just drag these up in the order you want. I want the corner test to be first. So take your time. You can change this later. And then hit complete. It'll save everything. It's going to walk you through. Okay. Yep, make a map back up. So there's our map. It's always telling us, there's always these little pop-ups from this little computer thing here. They're just always in the way, in my opinion. Okay, now, again, when you first log in, this is what it's going to look like. So you just hit enter, which is like go. This takes you to where you can control it. Let's go to the settings. You're going to find your clean history here. Put it on a schedule. Consumables, these are the filters. That filter needs cleaned every couple weeks, but that's when 150 hours is when it needs replaced. Mop pads, sensors. So whenever you do clean it, you can hit reset. That'll reset the timer. Common settings. dock settings. We want mop washing. Smart mop washing, water saving, standard, or deep temperature. Now, I like high temperature. That's when it uses that little heating pad, but there's this high temperature soaking. And I think that's when it probably, high temperature soaking, hot water mopping. The mop will be heated to 100 degrees Celsius. Mop washing time may be slightly longer. That makes me think that it fills the robot up with water on this setting and not this setting. So I like the highest temperature possible. I do think it does a better job of cleaning it. Auto mop washing on mop washing with detergent, mopping with detergent. So if you want the detergent tank to be used inside the robot on your floors and to wash the mop pad, you can select both those on. Drying time, I go down to 2 hours. These things dry them pretty quick. Auto drying is on, so whenever it comes back to the dock. Auto empty, I do high frequency just because I want it to auto empty more. That filter's kind of small. Air compression, you'll hear the robot kind of blowing air inside the robot to compress. The robot's dust box will be compressed more frequently during the first cleaning or household of pets. So I'm not sure if that really works or not. And you can auto clean the wash. I'll do a separate video on that. So there's the dock. This is a really important one. Floor cleaning settings. Clean along floor direction. I always forget this one. Let's go back to the map. Click the map button right here. There's more map settings than what you originally go through. So you've got cleaning order, furniture I normally don't do, low clearance areas. If there's area where you know there's a bed, you can add this blue square. You can change it and it'll lower the LiDAR and go underneath that. Typically it does it automatically, but you can add those yourself. And as it cleans your house, you'll see those blue boxes pop up. That means it's adding them itself. Thresholds, if you wanted to deploy the robotic arms or a ramp, that's when it will, that's an impassable threshold, but a passable threshold, it'll deploy those robotic arms. And you can add a passable threshold. And again, wherever I put this line, that's when it will deploy those feet and go over the threshold. Room partition. Yeah. Oh, that's, yeah, we're good there. Floor material. This one got missed by me. So pick a room, hit floor material. This is, okay, so my floor, you want to go, if you want it to mop in the direction of the floor, which I think helps, you can select which way is that floor material going. Well, it is actually going that way. You could go vertical or horizontal, but it is actually going that way. So see how the lines are going that way? I can pick either one, or I could pick tile where there's squares or other. Hit confirm. Now it will clean along the floor direction. Map, floor, carpet. Now, this one, be careful with. I've messed up more things in my settings with the carpet. Have this thing clean your house a couple times. Then it's going to identify where all the carpet is. And then you can go in there and fine tune it. Or you can add a piece of carpet. But don't mess with it right now. You can add carpet that has fringes on the ends. You can go to carpet types and stuff. So you can do more, but the robot needs to clean your house a couple times. And curtains, we already did that. So now let's go back to settings. Now, floor cleaning, very important. You can clean along floor direction now that I have the direction of the floor picked. How often does it auto lower the LiDAR? I usually leave it on secure, but if you wanted to go extreme, you can. It could get stuck more often. Cleaning frequency. It cleans at high frequency and those low tech. If you wanted to go under your bed more often, put high. Edge and corner cleaning. Side reach is on, mop extend is on. This for the gap, you know, it does a robot rotate to get the mop pad underneath there. And intensive cleaning around furniture legs, it really goes around furniture legs a lot. So I typically leave those off, but you can turn them on. Cleaning frequency, how often do you want it to extend the side mop? I usually have high frequency. Obstacles, areas re-cleaning. So let's say your kids were in a living room, the robot went in there and it said, whoa, there's too many things in here. I'm going to go to the next room. If it left that room without cleaning it, at the end of the job, it's going to go back to that room and see if anybody is still there. If nobody's there, it will clean the area. But you have to turn that on. I do like that setting. These settings will take only effect at intelligent obstacle avoidance is enabled. So we got to make sure that's enabled. Auto, attach and detach mop. I like that setting. That's it with the floor cleaning settings. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So carpet set cleaning. These can be tricky. So be careful. Vacuum. Robot will vacuum the carpeted area without mopping. That means it's going to lift the mop pads. Mop lift. Remove mop on carpet. You can select that. I do recommend selecting that, or you can just have it lift the mop pads. Clean. So the two settings I recommend are remove mop on carpet and clean carpets first. That will help prevent all the mop pads from being wet and being possibly getting your carpet wet. Carpet boost. Anytime it's on carpet, it's going to increase suction power. It is a little noisier that way. Intensive carpet cleaning. And do you want the side brush to rotate on carpet? I do. But if it's tangling up in rugs and stuff, you may not want that. Be careful with avoid, because it won't go on your carpet at all. And be careful with ignore, it'll mop your carpet. And be careful with cross, it will only cross carpet. So those settings be careful with. And you can the individual pieces of carpet on your map, you can fine tune each one of them. You could have it mop a certain really small rug. You could have it ignore a certain carpeted area. So that's why we have to let the robot figure out where all the carpet is on its own first, and then we go back into the settings. Obstacle settings. This is important. Intelligent obstacle crossing. The robot will intelligently select obstacle crossing methods. It'll deploy those feet. Do you want it to hurdle or synchronized? I'll do intelligent. More functions. Add a home shortcut. That's nothing. Minimal voice prompts. I do like to turn that on. That way it's not talking to me as much. Matter. It connects to Matter right away. There's do not disturb. Ring light always on. I would leave that off. That ring light is pretty bright. Resume cleaning. If it doesn't finish the job, it's going to go back and charge. But it could start cleaning about 2 in the morning. But make sure you have do not disturb on. Power saving cleaning. I've never seen this. This robot extends robot's runtime by restricting suction. I've never seen that before. Supposedly it's a power saving. I'm going to leave it off. Child lock, notifications, battery. You can do off-peak charging and you can do charging limit. I just leave those alone. Remote control I've never used. Wi-Fi management. Sometimes they give you a Wi-Fi map. That's pretty cool. You can see where all your Wi-Fi. It shows you. It takes a while to populate it. Device maintenance, robot water tank draining. Pet care. This is if you turn the pet care on. You've got pet cleaning, pet guard, and it'll take pictures of your pets. Voice assistant, I've got that off. Intelligent obstacle avoidance. This is an important one. That is on. Intelligent obstacle avoidance is on. Collision avoidance is on. It will significantly reduce collisions with walls. So if you find that it's not cleaning as thorough as you would like, you could turn that off. It'll get closer to the walls. I do enable pictures. That way I get a picture of the obstacle. The fill light is on. Real-time camera. So you have to enable it. You have to go press, agree, quickly tap the dock button 3 times. 1, 2, 3.
Start setting the video activation code.
All right. Click settings. You're going to enter in a passcode that you want. There's not a secret passcode that you have to go find. This is whatever you want it to be. All right, it's enabled. You can put it on a cruise where once a day it goes around your house and you can pick where it goes and takes video and pictures. Live video prompt, security settings, so pretty cool feature. Laboratory functions. Now, stain recognition, earlier we had that on. Avoid, suitable for houses with pets where urine may be present. So if you have pets, you may want to put avoid, but if it sees like soy sauce or a liquid, it's going to clean it. But if it could be liquid, then you would put avoid. Large particle boost, I do like having that on. If it sees dry stuff, it's going to clean better. And that's that blue light on the front. I'm not sure if it actually helps or not, but it says it does. Device information, you can change the name, time zone. I do like square feet. Device sharing, if you want somebody else to be able to use your camera in different, or go in there. Firmware updates, I like to turn that on automatically. We do have the latest version. Help, suggestions, and delete. Okay, we're good. Now here's the main map. When you first get here, it's got all, so you can pick. What do you want to do? Do you want to do Clean Genius, or it figures it out? You can do vacuum and mop, or mop after vacuum. Or you can go in and do custom. You can tell it to vacuum only, your entire house, mop only, vacuum and mop, mop after vacuum, or customize each room. When you do vacuum and mop, you've got 4 levels of suction. You can, this is a slider from 1 to 32. It could leave drips or the floor pretty wet if you go pretty high. Mop wash frequency, how often do you want to do by time, by room, or by square feet? How often do you want it to go wash the mop pads? That's the default. If you didn't want the bathroom water to be mixed with the living room, I would do by room. Oops. And then you've got route, either quick or standard. But if we go to mop only, we get a few more settings. We can do an intense mop or a deep mopping. Vacuum, you get max suction power. That's like the maximum. It really runs the battery down. You can do a zone. You can do multiple zones, add another zone. You can clean each zone independently. It'll go to that one, then that one. You can do 1, 2, or 3 passes on a zone. Let's go to rooms. Whatever, like let's say you just want 3 rooms cleaned. This one, select it, this one, and that one. It'll go in that order you selected. It won't do the whole house. You can do 1, 2, or 3 passes. And then you can do Clean Genius, or you can do custom. You could have it vacuum one room and mop another. And there you have it. There's the real-time camera. That when you select that, that activates the real-time camera. Enter your code. And then you'll see a video start here in just a second. Okay. Took a minute, but it's opening. It'll say camera on. There's the camera. It's a pretty cool feature. You can use you can control it,
Camera monitoring.
or you can tell it to go to a certain area in your house. Very cool stuff. You can have it record, you can talk through it, or take a picture. Okay, let's go tell the robot to clean that corner test area. We're gonna select, let's go to room, select it. Oh, let's go ahead and do custom. Vacuum and mop. Suction power, let's go to max. Wetness, let's go to about 27. Standard, 2 passes. And hit clean now. When you first get a robot, it wants you to clean your entire home first. That's what that pop-up is. So
Start selected room cleaning.
first thing it's going to do, it's going to fill the robot's internal water tank up with water. I do have the settings selected for hot water mop washing. So you have to pick the highest setting. It's going to fill the robot up with hot water. It's also going to wash the mop pads. And it also soaks the mop pads.
Please be patient and wait.
Now, if you ever get a robot that doesn't suck up clean water, I have a video on how to prime a pump. Sometimes we have to prime the pump on these robots. These robots sit for a while and then they don't suck, the water pump doesn't suck water out of the clean water tank. I have a separate video for that. That happens once in a while. I've heard enough people say it happens to where I did a video on it. I know it's working. I can hear the water down there. And when the dirty water pump kicks on, it's sucking up dirty water. So I know the water pump is working. Okay. Now, it did soak the mop pads. It kind of stops and makes you think it's not doing anything. It's going to travel to that room. It raised the LiDAR and start cleaning. You can track it. It's really cool. You can watch it right in the app. You can watch it travel and start cleaning. Looks like it is avoiding that carpet. I didn't even tell it that carpet was there. It's going to go right around it. Okay, so the Dreame X60 Ultra is going to start cleaning up this big mess. I've got it vacuuming and mopping at the same time. So that's the AI sensor sensed particles, and it boosted suction, and it's doing a vacuum only. It raised the mop pads. So it's going in a square to do a vacuum only, looks like. So you can see in the app, it's doing a particle boost. It created that square. Okay, it finished vacuuming that area. Now it's going to go into its vacuum and mop. So it is the sensor on the front has sensed all of that particles. So it's identified some more particles, and it's going to do a particle boost. Now I know it didn't go into this corner over here. I think it needs to clean this room a couple times. This is the first cleaning, and usually sometimes the first cleaning, it doesn't recognize that wall very good, but hopefully by the second cleaning, it should get it. And what it's doing here, it lifted the mop pads, and it's doing a vacuum only square. There's the third particle boost. Now, unfortunately, see how that square is in the other room? It is going to travel to that other room and try to clean that little area, even though the particles were inside this room. I wish that was a little different, but... And it did see my shoe, and it took a picture of my shoe. There's my shoe. So it is doing a good job of mopping. I wanted to turn the lights off and show you that blue light. It's got an internal water tank. It's spraying water on top of the mop pads. So I've seen that before. That's just an anomaly. I think as it learns the house more, it's going to do a better job. As you can see, having that particle boost, and it creates that square. If it's against the wall, it will tell the robot to go into the other room. So I do think they need to fix that. So now we're getting ready for the second cleaning. Yeah, it is staying away from that wall. I'll have to keep an eye on that. I may have to remap my home. Sometimes you have to remap your home if it's doing stuff like this. It just does not like that wall. Again, this is just the first cleaning, so. So it did the perimeter of the room again, and now it's going back and forth in a crisscross pattern now. So it has a headlight and a blue light. So this floor is really clean. Other than that little anomaly there of not going into that corner, I may have to remap my home. The robot's all done.
Cleaning completed. Returning to the dock.
Wow, that is really clean. It did get that corner completely clean. All the hair picked up. Yeah, I've seen this before in other robots. Sometimes if that LiDAR just hits this little, depending on where the LiDAR signal hits, if it hits here, it could tell the robot to stay a little farther away, or if it just hits here. So I'll remap it and let you know. So again, it's going to back up here. It didn't use very much to wash the mop pad, so we're going to do an auto empty event.
Starts charging. Start auto empty.
It's really quiet. And now it's going to wash the mop pad. Again, we don't have any dirt detection sensor inside the base station. They did remove that. The Max Ultra has it. I do wish they would leave that in there. Dyson's been doing really good. Sarles 20's been doing really good. The Shark UV Reveal also has a blue light, and it has a UV light. And it's got an amazing sensor on the front. It's just an old robot, but it actually did a really good job of mopping. Now this time it didn't try to travel to the other room. I've had it happen to where that dirt detection right there, it went and tried to go to the other room. So it did over here a little bit. But large particles. Again, See, it saw the large particles. I have that turned on you can turn that off if you don't like that feature, but I do think it works pretty good. Okay, now it's dehydrating the mop pad. The fan's not very loud, blowing hot air onto them. Let's check. There's the dirty water. Okay, so it's time for the torture test on carpet. The Dreame X60 is going to remove its mop pads and it's going to go clean a zoned carpeted area. Okay, let's see how well the Dreame X60 Ultra vacuums up all this kitty litter, long hair. I got some Fruity Pebbles cereal in there. I've got it on its maximum suction power. So once it does the perimeter of the room, then it's going to go back and forth in the nice straight lines. Now I did turn that large particle boost off. And it's going to do 2 passes. There's a little bit of wobble in the cleaning pattern. Wow, it's doing a good job. It's doing an excellent job. Here comes the kitty litter. Right there. Left a little bit. Wow, it's doing a good job. Left a few long hairs, some kitty litter, but it's going to do 2 passes. There's some more kitty litter. Yeah, this will definitely need 2 passes, but the biggest thing here will be, does it auto empty? Because that bin's going to be pretty full. And the bin is a little on the small side, but we'll see. There was quite a few hairs on this floor. I have to really spread them out because if I put them in a big bundle, it'll think it's a cord. Now, one thing to keep in mind, this wheel on the back, you're going to notice that in the grooves, the lines in your carpet are going to be different. I'm used to when that wheel is in the front and a robot goes back and forth in the nice straight lines. Normally you just see 2 wheels. So it looks a little nicer when that wheel's in the front, because if it's in the front, the brush roller kind of mats it or makes it smooth. So you are going to notice this 3 wheels in your carpet. It takes a little getting used to it. It actually doesn't look the best, but it's doing a good job of cleaning. It's just a wheel mark. I do have the side brush spinning. You can turn that off. It's off by default in the settings. So if the side brush If you don't want that to turn on carpet, you can. It's off by default in the settings. So now we're getting the crisscross pattern. There's where all that kitty litter was and coffee. We didn't get any hair clumps like I've seen in the past. There's a few hairs there. We're going to see if it gets them. I think it did. But again, the real test is the auto. These things are vacuuming really good nowadays. 36,000 pascals of suction, but can it auto empty? To me, if you're making a vacuum that can vacuum a lot, you better make a really good auto empty system. Because that's exactly what it's going to do. It's going to go vacuum a bunch of stuff. Yeah, this floor is getting super clean. When it's going in really long travels, I will notice a little wobble. I've got the X60 Max Ultra at my house, and I do notice that. That's how I noticed that third wheel. I didn't notice it when I was testing it, but at home, I'm like, ooh, the tracks just don't look very good. I'm used to two-wheel tracks. All right, it's about ready to finish up, and we'll check the auto empty. All right, it's all done.
Cleaning task completed.
It is a little noisy when it's on high. I should have dropped it down to the other settings. There's the cleaning pattern. We can see, we don't, I was gonna say, I thought we don't get a timeline. We just get this line going across. Sometimes we get an actual timeline of what it's doing. Okay, here comes the moment of truth. It's going to dock and auto empty. That's actually, what it vacuumed is actually pretty realistic, I think. For a house that's actually pretty dirty, it really should be able to handle that.
Start charging. Start auto empty.
It sounds like it got it all. I heard a thunk. We'll see. Yes. Oh, so thankful it got it. I want these to be good robots. It did, there's a few. That's just static electricity. It got the main hair out. There's a little bit left in there. No, I'm very, very, very pleased with that. That was a good job. Nothing down there yet. So I got the X60 Max Ultra at my home. That's the super flagship. It's doing really good. Just that third wheel is hard to get used to. I'll be bringing it. Again, it's at my home. So far, so good. It's been doing a great job. It's just got lots of advanced features. Those can be a little hard to figure out. Just like with these, do you turn the AI settings on? Do you turn them off? I'm going to do the advertising versus reality. X60 is all about the sensor on the front detecting dirt and that blue light. So that typically does a pretty good job. I expect it has the same sensor as the Max Ultra. So I suspect this is going to do okay. So again, check out ad versus reality. I'll compare it to the X60 Max Ultra. They're going to be so similar. There's just about 4 or 5 differences. And then I'm going to take it to my home, live with it. Then I'll bring it back here. We'll show you how to do all the maintenance. That's what I'm getting ready to do on the Curve 2, the Mova P10 Pro Gen 2, and several others. I'm getting ready to do the maintenance video. As soon as the maintenance video is done, that's when I give the reveal. Does it get the Just a Dad sticker seal of approval? Again, if you want to see all the robots that have already passed that testing, check out my website, justadadapproved.com. I am an affiliate with Amazon. If you purchase a product off of my description or on my website, I am an affiliate with Amazon. The product's not going to cost you anymore, but I do earn a small commission from the sale. This is Home of the Honest Review. I purchased these robot vacuum cleaners with my own money. These are the recommendations that if a friend or family member wanted a robot vacuum cleaner, that I would give them. So, and I have. I've told at least 6 people just in the last 6 months to buy the Mova P10 Pro. I checked in with them. They're all doing really good. They still love their robot vacuum cleaner. So again, if my mom wanted a robot vacuum cleaner, I would tell her to get the Mova P10 Pro. I'd probably give her the one I've got now. And the reason for that is because guess what? If I recommend it and they're a friend or family and it doesn't work, they're going to call me. So these things are proven, no hassle, going to actually clean your home. Not all robots are made the same. Look for the Just a Dad, that blue sticker right there on the screen. Just a Dad approved. The red sticker means it's in my testing, or I've tested it. It's in-house. It's being tested or has been tested. The blue, that's what you're looking for. Did it pass? Did Dad say this was okay? Now, on my website, when I got a new website coming in another month, in the review section, you'll see there's going to be probably 20, 30 robots that are Just a Dad approved, but for different reasons. Like this one's good for pet hair. This one's good for thresholds. This one's good for mopping. So again, I'll have like a bottom line where the best ones are for. So again, check out justadadapproved.com. Lots more exciting videos coming. I do appreciate everybody's support. If you could, please like, subscribe, check out the website, and thanks again.